Hello there, Furby fans, and everyone else. Today, I'm gonna be showing you guys some of the weirdest Furbies in my collection. But what exactly do I consider to be weird when it comes to these little freaks? Let's take a look at the Furbies in my possession that I would personally consider to be just a bit out of the ordinary. So whether that includes factory errors, odd behaviors, or even just Furbies with interesting or unique history behind them, there are plenty of messed up little creatures to discover today. And at the end, I'm going to be showing you a Furby that has a very unique bug, which I'm not even sure has been documented by the fandom yet. Well then, let's get started. I thought that it'd be fitting to start off with one of my most recognized Furbies, since this dude is the face of my channel. This fella is from the original 1999 third Color Series release. Except I lied! This dude is actually a re-release of the Gorilla Furby, which came out later than the original color release. These variants were released around the year 2000 with this sticker on the packaging here that reads Fresh New Look. Now, what does that mean, fresh new look? Did he get a new pair of slacks? No. Well, if you're not familiar with this particular Furby coloration, you maybe didn't notice that the face color here, which is normally brown, is instead black. So, to my knowledge, these fresh Furbies are re-releases of previous color series, but with minor cosmetic changes. Now, my personal theory is that they just had some leftover Furby parts and then decided to sort of like mash random pieces together and be all like, whoa, this is so new and differenter. Don't you want to buy these differenter Furbies that are differenter than before? Kind of an interesting marketing tactic, if you ask me. It was very near to the end of the lifespan of the original Furby generation, so guess they were probably just running out of steam, I suppose. There's actually quite a few of these special fresh Furby variants out there, some being a lot more recognizable than this guy, such as the fandom dubbed Sunrise variant of the Wolf Furby. And I actually do have another fresh variant, which is this guy. This guy's probably a lot easier to notice the difference. His eyelids here are sort of this sickly, gray color. Honestly, they look unpainted and it bothers me, but the coloration is completely intentional and not a factory error, unlike some coming later in this video. So yeah, there are others from the same release that look just like this guy. As for the Gorilla variant, the one that I own was actually the only known fresh new look variant of this specific Furby coloration, up until somewhat recently when another was spotted on an eBay listing. So there's a good chance a few more of these guys are floating around out there, but for now, these are the only two known to exist. One good way to tell if a Furby is from the Fresh New Look release is to look at their base. Every Furby under this release is from the same factory, usually referred to by the acronym WT, but if your Furby is from the Fresh release, they will have C015A molded into the base instead of WT. So next up we have, what is that? Now, I know what you guys are thinking. Hey, that's not a Furby. That's Freddy frickin' Fazbear. Okay. I know this is a bootleg Furby, and I probably could include many of the bootleg Furbies on this list, as they are all quite freakish and strange. But the reason I'm showing you guys this one, besides his odd appearance, is that this bootleg is, to my knowledge, one of the only fakes to have documented legal action taken against it by Hasbro themselves. Now, the document is fully in French, which I cannot read, but I will put some of it on the screen here. I just find it so funny that this guy, out of all the fakes, was taken to court. Imagine having to draw parallels from this thing to an actual Furby. Like, yes, this thing that looks like a content awareness Tibetan fox? Yeah, dude, that's totally a Furby clone. All jokes aside, there actually were a few other variants of this fake that looked a lot more like a Furby, none of which I own, but I do have this guy which resembles them a lot. Many bootlegs share the same molds, so it's not surprising. But yeah, these guys are quite strange. There are some wires inside this guy that are just like hacked off. I'm not sure what purpose they had originally. Just thought I'd mention that because I think it's a little silly. So this next guy here falls into the manufacturing error category. This little fella is a special edition Autumn Furby. These Furbies were all produced by the RL factory, and some Furbies from this particular factory have been infamously known to arrive faulty straight out of the box. And this guy is no exception. He happens to have what's been dubbed the RL bug by Furby fans, and many other RL Furbies, special edition or otherwise, have been observed to come brand new with the same bug. This bug bug is a bizarre glitch, which I believe the cause of is still unconfirmed, but it's been speculated to be caused by some cracked or cold solder joints on the Furby's board. Now, the behavior of these Furbies is very similar to what you'd expect from a Furby on low batteries, but no matter how fresh your batteries are, or what troubleshooting steps you decide to take, they will just 90% of the time, these guys won't even try to start up. They tend to just do kind of a half boot cycle and then fully crash before even trying to wake up. I found their behavior to be a lot more startling than a normal Furby's, since sometimes they will act completely normal for like 5 entire minutes before making the loudest, most deafening noise ever heard by human ears. Next up, I have this incredibly normal-looking and unassuming raccoon Furby with beautiful blue eyes. Now, what's so strange about this guy? My first impression of this Furby after his beautiful exterior was this quite, interesting eBay description. This is my first one. Is it supposed to be this weird? I put new batteries in it, batteries not included. Then, it's sitting on the table and talks to me and moves around, then it doesn't. A few minutes later, suddenly it starts making all kinds of noise, stops working, and then suddenly starts singing. This is one strange toy, and my Yorkie is afraid of it. I guess it works. You're probably thinking, well, with that description, there's no way that this Furby is normal. And you would be right. So, when I first powered this guy up, I didn't know what to expect. I thought for sure this must be the RL bug. It fits the description perfectly. And he's an RL Furby too. But upon testing him a second time, I noticed something a little bit more unusual. It turns out that this guy actually has a completely different issue. For whatever reason, when his motor starts spinning, it only turns in one direction. Like it only moves in forward and not reverse. It kinda looks a lot like the RL bug at first glance, but he never freezes, crashes, or my guess is that something on his circuit board must have gone bad. But I'm not exactly sure what. I've actually tried replacing the capacitors on the motor since that solved a similar issue I've had before, but it didn't seem to work. I ended up actually just replacing the entire circuit board and now he works like a normal Furby. So yeah, get out of here, Mr. Normal. We got more weirdos to look at. Yeah, get on out of here, man. Now, these next few are actually going to fall again into the factory error category, just like the Autumn Furby did, but these guys have cosmetic errors instead, not to be confused with the fresh new look Furbies, of course. So this first guy here is actually one of the first Furbies that I'd ever owned. I got him all the way back in 2015, when I found him on an eBay auction with 0 bids. Back then, the Furby collection scene was a lot more, niche, so it wasn't too uncommon for listings like this to go completely unnoticed. So I got him for pretty cheap. This guy doesn't look so strange, right? No off-color eyelids or anything. But when it comes to these special edition Y2K Furbies in particular, they are all meant to be manufactured with the same eye color, blue. And this guy's happened to be instead green. This definitely caught my eye when I saw his eBay listing all those years ago. Now, unfortunately, I do not have the full listing archived, but I vaguely remember that the seller mentioned that they bought this guy as a Christmas gift and then left them up in their attic until he was later sold to me. So I find it very unlikely that this guy has ever had any sort of customization done to him, since I did not do that myself, though it would be quite an easy customization. So I've come to the conclusion that this guy must be some kind of factory error. What do you guys think? And in a similar vein, I have this dude, who is a Furby that I've actually never unboxed. He is still in his original packaging here, as you can see. One of his ears is a bit loose, but I see no evidence that he was ever tampered with. But yeah, those are not normal first-gen Witch's Cat eyelids. That beige color looks very, odd. And because this guy is specifically a Canadian release Furby, as you can tell by both the English and French printed on the box here, as well as the Grand Distributor logo on the bottom here, there is no doubt to me that this guy is a manufacturing error. Since, remember, all fresh variants are produced by the WT factory, and it just so happens that all Canadian variants are from the RL factory. That, and there's no sticker, obviously. This guy is super freaking cool to me, and he wasn't very expensive either, so I can assume that the seller wasn't aware of his, unusual beige aura. I actually think that these eyelids are specifically from a cheetah Furby, since they look near identical from what I can tell. Now, I actually have plans to unbox this guy in a future video, since I've always wanted to do so out of curiosity, and I'm honestly not too concerned about decreasing his value, since I don't really think the beige eyelided Canadian Furby is a particularly sought after Furby variant, but he is very special to me. I like him very much. Also, it'd be fun to see if maybe he has the RL bug. That would be 2 factory errors in 1. Really quick before our honorable mention, let's do a lightning round of some more of these funky Furbys. For some reason this Furby's tickle button only works when the Switch is set to try me mode. This Furby I've owned since childhood used to say a unique phrase that I've never heard before. Why do only some of the very first release Furbys have this weird ribbon and this weird clicky back button? This Furby once woke up while I was vacuuming several feet away from him. This Furby fake randomly short-circuited and started speaking Chinese out of nowhere. This guy melted and screamed. Whoa! That's not a Furby. What even is that, man? What the fuck? Now, lastly, I'm gonna be talking about this Furby, who is actually not a part of my personal collection. Guys, come on, I wanted to Anyway, this lovely critter was a Christmas present that I helped pick out for my mom. She decided to name her Typhoid Mary because of a very unique bug that this Furby happens to have. So when 2 Furbies interact with each other, they send out infrared signals to communicate. And when a Furby is sick, they send out a unique signal to infect other Furbies. Now, for some reason, without fail, this Furby will always make the other Furby sick, despite not being sick themselves. And it just sort of came this way. There's nothing wrong with her. See, she's fine. Why does he, whatever. So, I was supposed to be showing a little, demonstration of the glitch here, but, it seems to have, resolved itself, unfortunately. I have no footage of him prior to this, so, you're just gonna have to take my word for it, I guess. I'm almost worried that it might have been my fault, because earlier I did have him in debug mode, which I'm not sure could have corrected a glitch like this, but he is acting noticeably different than I remembered. So yeah, guys, I'm really sorry. Here I was trying to save one of the most interesting ones for last, but instead I just give you absolutely nothing out of the ordinary. So yeah, if that was a bug that he had, it still remains undocumented to this day. I'm really sorry, guys. Please forgive me. So, there you have it, folks. Those were the strangest, most bizarre Furbies in my collection, and Typhoid Mary. I hope you enjoyed the video. Goodbye. Subscribe for more fucked up animals.
I think that's it. I think I'm done.